Shut up and sit down.
Hello, my friend. You are listening to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, the number one place for innovative marketing, retention strategies, and business growth ideas made just for dance studio owners. Now, this isn't your average business podcast. We're here to shake things up, simplify the hustle, and focus on real, actionable insights. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, and after 30 years of running studios, coaching owners, and scaling businesses, I know one thing's for sure. There's no one size fits all in this industry. You've got the passion, and I've got the tools to help you take it to the next level. So hit that subscribe button, grab a coffee, and let's scale your studio together. Over the last couple of weeks, my social feeds have been filled with posts about type A mums and type B mums. You know, the ones where you've got that super organized, color-coded lunchbox mums versus the easygoing, let them be, run around barefoot mums. And it really just makes me smile because it instantly clicks to me like how similar this is to the way different people lead their studios. You know, some of us are running on structure and lists and really clear plans, and some of us are leading with calm and intuition and creativity. And then there's some of us that just will sit comfortably in the middle depending on what season we're in. And seeing all these posts got me thinking, your leadership style has such a huge impact on how you grow your studio, how you make decisions, and how you guide your team. But most studio owners never pause long enough to recognize what type they actually are. So in this week's episode of the Dance Studio Scaled podcast, we are going to be unpacking the type A and type B leadership styles through the lens of running a dance studio. And more importantly, what each style needs in order to scale. Now, first of all, this is not a psychology textbook kind of conversation, but it's just a bit of fun in the day-to-day leading of your studio. You know, when your hair's on fire some days and then other days your life's all together. So I'm going to say this up front. Now, I probably identify mostly as a type B, which I'll say type B as a mum, which may surprise some of you. I don't know, but I am the mum who would run to, Woolies or the chemist on the way to a birthday party to buy the present. I love the spaciousness, the calm, the flow, the big picture thinking. But every now and then, and it's usually when I'm planning something big or under pressure, my inner type A leaps out. And that's when I'm fully caffeinated, hyper organized, and really ready to get things done. Now, inside the mastermind, there's this beautiful mix. I've got type A leaders who thrive off the structure and the accountability and the speed. And then I've got type B leaders who then truly shine in their creativity and the empathy and take on more of an intuitive approach to growth. And the magic really happens because both styles can scale. Both types can lead and both types can build profitable studios without burning out. And so today in this episode, I want to look at how to know which type you are, what it means for you to run your studio, how to use your natural strengths, what blind spots to look out for, and how this links beautifully with what we'll be teaching at the Business of Dance conference in Sydney in January, because no matter which type you are, this event will fill the gaps exactly with what you need for growth in 2026. All right, let's get into it. So what does a type A and a type B look like in a dance studio owner? So I just want to start with some fun stereotypes. Like a type A studio owner often will have a plan for their plan. They're writing 3 lists before 9 a.m. They have strict boundaries around rehearsal schedules and times to be there and not allowed to miss. They have often color-coded their staff rosters. They will triple check an email before sending. They move fast when they've made a decision. They want systems and clarity, structure and predictability. And then sometimes they will try to do everything themselves because it's just easier. Now, these are the studio owners who are often described as the powerhouses of the go-getters or the forces of nature, but they can also overwhelm themselves because they place incredibly high expectations on their own shoulders. And then on the flip side, we've got our type B studio owners who these guys often thrive when they feel spacious and grounded. They're leading with intuition and creativity. They're creating studios with a beautiful culture. They're calm during chaos most of the time. They can hold the emotional and relational side of the business effortlessly. They prefer fluidity over rigid structure. They take their time when making decisions. And sometimes they'll avoid the tough or detailed stuff or those conversations until they really have to face it. And now these studio owners often are described as caring and creative or easygoing leaders. But they can then sometimes get stuck because systems, boundaries, or strong leadership don't always come naturally. Now, with those two types, neither is better. Both come with superpowers and both come with challenges. Understanding yours is just the first step to being able to use it intentionally. Okay, so let's go back to me for a second so that I can use myself as an example. People will often assume that I'm a type A because I've built large studios, I've created multiple businesses, I've sold studios, I've spent 30 years building successful teams and programs and systems. But honestly, I think when I sit down, I'm naturally a type B. I think big picture. I'm at my best when I have space. I lead from intuition and connection, and I am quite calm and grounded. But when I go into planning mode, when I'm launching something, or I need, to pull the studio or the team into alignment, that's when my type A side comes out fast. And that's when I flip and I am focused and I'm organized and clear and structured and very decisive. And that blend has been one of the biggest reasons that I have been able to grow, scale, and support so many studio owners. Now, I don't try to change who I am because I really do identify with both. I just need to know which part of me needs to lead depending on what season I'm actually in. And that's what I want you to think about today. If you were to sit in our mastermind container with all these incredible studio owners, you'll see every possible mix of personalities. Now, our type A studio owners, they love the clarity, the direction, the structure, the forecasting, the data. They thrive when they've got that clear growth plan, measurable goals, timelines, structure, someone who will challenge them and ground them. These owners make huge shifts quickly because once they've made a decision, they just go. And then our type B studio owners, they love the flow. They love the creativity and the support and the spaciousness, that heart-led leadership. And they thrive when they have guidance that feels doable and adaptable. They've got support with systems and finances and team structure. They have the confidence to make strong decisions and they're encouraged without pressure. They like just being in a room that feels safe. Now, these studio owners make sustainable, really deeply aligned growth decisions because once they have clarity, they fully commit. And I just think the magic is in the mix. So with our type A leaders, they often will soften up, they will open up, they will learn to build real capacity. And our type B leaders become more powerful and confident and more of a structured CEO. Everyone learns from each other and everyone sees blind spots that they would have missed on their own. And that's why these type of rooms work. That's why they scale fast. And that's why your personality traits don't limit your growth, but they actually can form the way that you move forward. So if you are a type A studio owner, your growth is going to come when you stop trying to control everything. It's when you can delegate, but caveat, you delegate with trust and confidence. You can slow down long enough to think. You'll shift from doing to leading. You'll allow systems to do the heavy lifting for you, and you'll stop operating like the only qualified adult in the room. Now, you already have the fire. You guys just need the capacity to then be able to take it on. Now, if you're a type B studio owner, your growth is going to come when you embrace structure, when you hold boundaries consistently, when you make decisions, even when you're not 100% sure, or you're implementing systems, you set expectations clearly, you create accountability for yourself and your team, and you start treating yourself like the CEO that you actually are. You already have the heart, you just need the framework. Now, if you are a blend, when you're listening to all of these points, you say, yep, I'm a bit of this and a bit of that. I would pretty much think that's most of the people listening here. Then your growth is going to come when you recognize which version of you is needed in each season. Because then you can shift your gears intentionally and build a studio that is going to support both sides of your leadership. So, meaning that you understand when you need the softness and when you need the strength. And this is where self-awareness becomes a strategy. And now this brings me to the conference, which we are holding, Sally Prendergast and I are holding in January 14th in the city, in Sydney, because this event has been built to serve both leadership types. So if you come to the room and you're a type A, you are going to love the structure, you're going to love the clarity, the planning templates, the 2026 focus, the marketing and retention frameworks, the step-by-step strategies, the operational systems. This event will help you create space in your business. It will give you confidence to loosen your grip so that your team can actually step up. And it will give you clarity on what needs to happen and when for sustainable growth. And then if you're a type B, you are going to love the inspiration. You're going to love the community. You're going to love the creative ideas, the relationship-based learning, the confidence building, the belief that you don't have to be a type A to grow, and the approachable human way that we talk about business. Now, this event helps you build a business that supports your energy, your strengths, and your natural leadership style. So it gives you the structure without losing the heart. And then if you are a mix between the two, if you're identifying as both type A and type B, then this is your dream container because it will help you understand your strengths and upgrade your leadership in areas that you tend to avoid. So wrapping up, whether you're type A or type B or somewhere in between, your leadership style is not a barrier to growth. In fact, when you understand it and work with it, it becomes one of your most powerful tools that you will have. All right, now the more you learn how to use it, the easier it's going to become to lead your team, to grow your student numbers, to manage your role, to scale your studio without sacrificing everything else in your life. If you would like to join us and explore this deeper and walk into 2026 with clarity and confidence, then the Business of Dance Conference is the place to be. So as I mentioned, it's in Sydney, January 14th, and whichever type you are, the room will give you exactly what you need. Tickets are on sale now. We have a strictly limited amount of tickets just due to the size of the room. So once they've gone, we unfortunately won't be able to squeeze people in. So if you do want to jump on, and they are selling quite fast, I will leave a link in the show notes. But if it's easier, just send me a DM on Instagram and I'll just forward you the link and you can go and check it out from there. All right, everyone, I'm going to leave you there. That was just an episode with a little bit of fun, talking about ways we can identify where we can thrive, where we can become self-aware enough to see where we can grow. This is what I love about this community. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you same place, same time next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Studio Scaled podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other studio owners who would love it too. And let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Jen Dalton for more tips, insights, and behind-the-scenes moments to help you simplify and scale your studio. Until next time, keep dreaming big and taking action. I'll see you back here soon.